Hello there, lovely good evening and welcome to Camnet TV main news, broadcasting to you live from Lusaka on channel 106 on the Topsa decoder and also streaming live on Facebook, YouTube and Kenstream. Here are your headlines. Gold deal gone wrong. Lusaka man vanishes with over $29,000. Police launch manhunt. CAAC warns new cyber law could silence whistleblowers and undermine corruption fight. Mining pollution and water crisis a danger to economic stability, says economist. And in international news, Trump administration considers major reduction in US diplomatic missions. And in sports, Zambia beats Benin 2-1 in FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup qualifier. Join us for these and many more stories after this break.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
To present Camnet TV main news in detail, now broadcasting on Topsa channel 106 and YouTube, Facebook and Kenstream. I'm Tapelo Joe Smarter. Community Action Against Corruption, CAAC, has raised concern over the potential negative impact of newly enacted cybersecurity and cybercrimes law on the fight against corruption in Zambia. CAAC Chief Executive Officer Brighton Tembo says the law may intimidate citizens and discourage them from reported suspected corruption, particularly cases involving senior government officials or individuals close to those in power. Mr. Tembo warns that the legislation as it stands could significantly hinder whistleblowing efforts, forcing many citizens and activists to adopt what he described as a shut up and stay safe attitude. He added that many Zambians already fear reporting high-level corruption due to possible reprisals, and the new law only deepens that fear by introducing the risk of being prosecuted for circulating what may be deemed as unverified information. The organization has since called on government to review the law and ensure that the provisions are made to protect those that bravely come forward to expose corruption in the public interest.
You know, as Community Action Against Corruption, we feel the newly enacted Cyber Security Law and the Cyber Crimes Act is going to impede seriously on corruption fight, because many whistleblowers will opt to stay away from reporting allegations of corruption in various government institutions for fear of being labeled as people communicating or publishing or circulating misleading information or unverified information. You know, Zambians by nature, they are not people who are very much open about reporting forms of corruption, because the culture has developed that when you report corruption, there is a chance of reprisal. So now, with the addition of this law, it is going to keep many whistleblowers away from reporting corruption, and we don't know how the Anti-Corruption Commission is going to be effective if people are staying away from actual reporting actual corruption. We know they will say there are laws that protect whistleblowers, but this act seems to supersede the prior regulations that protects whistleblowers. So we are yet to see, but we feel this definitely is going to impede on whistleblowers. People will stay away from reporting corruption.
Police in Lusaka have launched a manhunt for a suspect identified as Peter Sinkamba, who is accused of obtaining $29,737 by false pretenses in a fraudulent gold transaction. Police spokesperson Ray Hamonga says Chilenje Police Station received the report on Friday, April 18th, 2025 from 34-year-old Abel Musonda of Bombay Road in Emersdale, who reported that Sinkamba, whose address remains unknown, swindled him out of the money under the pretext of selling 500 grams of gold, which turned out to be non-existent. Mr. Hamonga adds that the complainant was acting on behalf of his brother, Mr. Mwaba Msonda, who resides in China, and had requested the procurement and shipment of 3 kilograms of gold to Hong Kong. Mr. Msonda Jr. subsequently engaged Mr. Sinkamba, who purportedly operates under the name Tontozo Minerals and General Dealers, and who agreed to supply the gold at a rate of $67,000 per gram. And on April 5th, 2025, at around 11 hours, the two parties met at East Park Mall, where the complainant paid $29,737 United States dollars via Binance wallet to an account identified as Musango 7, reportedly linked to Sinkamba. However, upon submission of the airway bill to authorities at Kenneth Kaunda International Airport on April 16th, it was discovered to be fake. Mr. Hangoma has since been apprehended by the complainant and is currently in police custody. No recovery of the funds has been made thus far.
And 16th of April 2025 at East Park Mall and Waterfalls areas respectively. Brief facts are that the complainant, Mr. Abel Musonda, was acting on behalf of his brother, Mr. Mwaba Musonda, who is based in China, and had requested the procurement and shipment of 3 kilograms of gold to Hong Kong. Mr. Musonda engaged Mr. Peter Sinkamba, believed to be operating under the name Tontozo Minerals and General Dealers, who agreed to sell the gold at a rate of $67,000 per kilogram. On the 5th of April 2025 at 11 hours, the two parties met at East Park Mall, where the complainant paid $29,737 United States dollars via Binance wallet to an account identified as Musango 7, linked to Mr. Peter Sinkamba. Subsequently, on the 14th of April 2025 at 15 hours, the alleged seller and the shipping agent identified as Felix Flexon Hangoma at Waterfalls, where 500 grams of what was presented as gold was handed over for shipping. The agent assured the complainant that he was in the process of securing a release order and an airway bill. However, on the 16th of April 2025, upon submission of the airway bill to the authorities at Kenneth Kaunda International Airport for verification, it was discovered fake. The shipping agent, Mr. Felix Flexon Hangoma, 81 of Minwood, was apprehended by the complainant and is currently in police custody. No recovery has been made so far. Investigations into the matter are ongoing and efforts to apprehend the principal suspect, Mr. Peter Sinkamba, are underway. The Zambia Police Service wishes to caution members of the public to exercise due diligence when engaging in high-value transactions, particularly involving precious minerals. Always ensure that dealings are conducted through licensed and verifiable channels to avoid falling prey to fraudulent schemes.
The Fruits and Vegetables Association of Zambia has called on the government to implement effective measures aimed at boosting local production of fruits and vegetables in order to help reduce the high cost of living. Speaking in an interview with Camnet News, Association President Bernard Sikunyongana highlighted that the current underproduction by local farmers is one of the key drivers of the country's unsustainable food prices. Mr. Skunyongana questioned the rationale behind importing produce such as potatoes and onions, emphasizing that these crops can be cultivated locally. He stressed that prioritizing local production would not only enhance food security but also create employment opportunities for Zambians.
I know JCTR report has shown that the food basket has gone up. All these are the small things that makes the food basket to go up. And this is why we need to make sure as a country, Zambia now, we are a land-linked country. If you look at the summit which was here, the Angola summit, The president explained it very well. We are now linked for electricity from East Africa to Zambia. So any country now can import electricity passing through Zambia. But here's the business opportunities. Angola is saying they are importing chicken from Brazil. They are importing potatoes from Brazil, from South Africa. We, the neighboring countries, just some hours we are in Angola. Let's take this opportunity. This is how we can create jobs as a country. Because the government cannot employ everybody. But agriculture can employ everyone. Because at whatever age, somebody can be able to produce these things. Look at the women in Chikankata. Those are women, but they're producing quality potatoes. And there's very big demand in Angola. So really these small things can affect the cost of living for people, because when we do not produce enough, the prices shoots up. And the only way to bring the prices down is by producing more. So this appeal remains to the government to make a decision on this one. We will see Zambians making money.
Economist Kelvin Chisanga has warned that the continued pollution of Zambia's water bodies by mining waste and byproducts is not only an environmental concern, but a direct threat to economic stability and public welfare. He says that the country must urgently prioritize the protection of its water resources in light of growing environmental pressures. Mr. Chisanga adds that Zambia's mining sector is falling short of delivering on its promises of economic growth and job creation due to weak environmental governance and poor regulation. He noted that although the sector holds immense potential to drive national development, this potential is being undermined by harmful practices that go unchecked. He noted that some mining investors continue to violate environmental standards, especially by releasing harmful chemicals into water bodies, which threatens both ecosystems and communities dependent on these resources. Mr. Tsanga further expressed concern over the apparent absence of a robust regulatory framework to oversee mining operations.
So as Zambia tends to get to the target of 3 million metric tons output in the next few years to come, it's imperative and very, very important to say that it's high time we also activate the Mineral Commission body, which should be able to regulate so that we can have an idea of how we go about different or variation of mineral situation that we are cultivating, especially with the kind of ongoing situation around geo mapping system, ascertaining some of the mineral assets that we have in this country. One of the biggest factor here is that for a longest period of time, closer to more than actually I think more than 50 years of existence as an independent country, colonized as well as also liberalized from that perspective, we have not been able to actually come up with the mineral body which should be able to regulate the mining sector, despite us having this as a low material resource. You may even take it by extension to say that we have HLB, Energy Regulation Board, which has not been able to be inclined with the local resource form, in the sense that we basically import oil and then we come to regulate it. So it's so ironic to see that our own resource, primary resource for that matter, mining in particular, does not have a regulator which should be able to regulate how we go about mineral diversification process, strategy, and also going into issues of environmental health and safety.
We now go to Western Province, where Senanga District Commissioner Rita Sipalo, represented by Senanga District Social Welfare Officer Bright Chilea, has called on all political parties to adopt women in the coming elections. Mr. Chilea says it's heartbreaking to see that in Western Province, women have low representation in civic leadership. He further called on all non-government organizations to join hands with the government in order to improve the lives of citizens. Mr. Chilea says there is need to enhance community participation if the government's desire is to be achieved. Details in the following report.
The low numbers of women and youth representation has raised concern among government and some stakeholders in Western Province. And youth activist organization in Western Province, with support from Swedish and Action Aid Zambia, has taken a step forward in the sensitization of stakeholders in Senanga district in Western Province, with the aim to enhance civic participation in accountability and inclusive democracy amongst all political parties. Speaking during the inception meeting in Senanga District Social Welfare Officer Bright Chilaya, representing Senanga District Commissioner, had this to say.
Call upon all NGOs to join us in the provision of the basic needs for our citizens. We have demonstrated our commitment to unbiased development by fostering decentralization, by allowing the community to actively participate in developing our communities. In this regard, they need to go for enhanced community participation is government's desire in order to ensure that citizens freely exercise their right to vote. It is yet another season coming ahead for 2026 general elections, and it is time around with a focus of making sure that youth and women are not left behind.
And Community Development Assistant Officer Maureen Muchima appealed to the government for more support to women and youths.
My appeal to the government is to support women in small activities, like some of them are already existing. We have under community development, we have the project of support to women's livelihood. It's just a small number of women that have been supported. My appeal is, if a good number of women are supported with livelihood, they will be able to support their children and they will stand.
Meanwhile, other participants echoed similar concerns, stating that most women fail to participate in election due to lack of financial muscle.
Mutatafela bafumana bana basizani kuli bakone kuyema mwali ketsa kuli abeneke kansela kikutokwa mashilengi chole kambe muso wako na kutusaba na abasizani mwali nakozale za liketsa.
I would urge the government
You are still watching Camnet TV main news, broadcasting live on the decoder on channel 106, YouTube and Facebook, including the Kenstream app. We now take our first set of commercials, but do join us for more news after this.
potatoes, the unsung heroes of flavor. From crispy chips to creamy mash, potatoes are the versatile superstars of your kitchen. Grown with love by our dedicated workforce drawn from around the community of Palabana. Savenda Farms is to see to it that we have potatoes that are grown right, healthy, big and tasty. For that quick fix or big celebration or that meal that brings family together, top chefs rely on the Savenda potato to create culinary masterpieces. And for others, it's that icebreaker to a delightful conversation. So, embrace the magic of Savenda potatoes. They're not just a side dish, they're the heart and soul of your kitchen. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Rainglow, your smart irrigation partner.
Thank you so much and welcome back on the Camnet TV News Desk. We continue with the news. The Department of Immigration has secured 22 convictions and transferred 35 foreign nationals for onward removal from the country following a series of enforcement operations conducted by its Kafua office on 17 April 2025. The convicted individuals were found guilty of offenses including failure to appear before the nearest immigration office and unlawful stay in Zambia. Immigration Public Relations Officer Namati Shinka says the convicted group included 13 Burundians, 6 Zimbabweans, 2 Tanzanians, and 1 Malawian. Meanwhile, the Kafua Immigration Office also facilitated the transfer of 35 foreign nationals to Lusaka for onward removal from Zambia on the same day. Mr. Shinka explained that 31 of the individuals had previously been prosecuted and had paid court-imposed fines for their immigration violations. The Department of Immigration has since urged all foreign nationals to comply with Zambia's immigration laws, adding that orderly and lawful immigration is vital for national security and public order.
The Department of Immigration, through its Kafua office on 17 April 2025, secured the conviction of 22 foreign nationals for failure to appear before the nearest immigration officer and unlawful stay in the country. The convicted individuals comprised 13 Burundians, 6 Zimbabweans, 2 Tanzanians, and 1 Malawian. They were each sentenced to pay fines ranging from 5,000 to 8,000 kwacha, or in default serve 7 months simple imprisonment. Further, we wish to confirm the transfer of 35 foreign nationals by the Kafua Immigration Office to Lusaka for onward removal from the country on the same day. Of the 35 transferred, 31 had previously been prosecuted and paid court-imposed fines for their offenses. The group is composed of 19 Burundians, 5 Ethiopians, 2 Congolese, 2 Malawans, 2 Tanzanians, and 1 Botswana. In addition, 1 Zimbabwean national was transferred to Lusaka to serve a prison sentence of 7 months after failing to pay a court fine following prosecution for an immigration offense. 3 individuals from the group, 2 Burundians and 1 Ethiopian, were determined to be juveniles and therefore were not prosecuted due to their age. The Department of Immigration remains steadfast in its commitment to enforcing the Immigration and Deportation Act number 18 of 2010 of the laws of Zambia and ensuring orderly and lawful migration. We wish to urge all foreign nationals to comply with the provisions of the Act.
Zambia has officially handed over the chairmanship of the Southern Africa Development Community SADC Military Health Working Group to Zimbabwe following the end of its one-year tenure. The handover took place during the annual general meeting at the SADC held from 14th to 16th April 2025 in Harare, Zimbabwe. The meeting was officially opened by Zimbabwe Defense Forces Chief of Staff Support Services Marshal Salavale Masera, Zambia's outgoing chair Brigadier General Dr. Jackson Kasela, who is also the Director General of the Zambia Defense Force Medical Services, handed over the leadership to Brigadier General Geoffrey Etsi, Director General of Zimbabwe Defense Force Health Services. The transition marks the continuation of efforts to strengthen regional military health collaboration within the SADC region. We now go to Eastern Province, where Provincial Deputy Permanent Secretary Lewis Mwape says government is committed to skill development in order to foster a robust and resilient economy. Speaking when he toured Lundazi Trade Training Institute, Dr. Mwape says once more people acquire skills, it will be easy to develop the nation as there will be more productivity among the youths. He has urged the institute to enhance entrepreneurship in the curriculum, stating that it is important that people are accustomed to creating jobs and not seeking employment. Dr. Mwape adds that the institute should equally focus on assessing skills gaps in the region so that it can introduce more courses that are in demand in the labor market. He assured that government will support the institute by linking it to contractors who are working with local authorities so that they can utilize people that are trained by the institute. Meanwhile, Lundazi Trades Training Institute Principal Francis affirmed the institute's obligation to align with the government agenda to create a skilled citizenry that is involved in the development of the country.
We intensify on the skills development. That's why His Excellency President Hakainde Hichilema has provided the bursary scheme for skills development. CDF is undertaking what calling the community projects. These are mostly in infrastructure development, and so we are reskilling people in electrical, repairing, plumbing, and other courses that are associated to construction. So these should be the people that should be employed or deployed in this implementation of community contracts. So we want to see how we can do the MOU with the contractors that are being contracted under the local authorities. And we feel that we will complete the value chain of our people that are being trained.
We must pay attention to what the community, what matters most, so that the product that we produce, it finally fits in this community, even without necessarily going to LUSAKA, because the product is sought on the market. Yes, so we'll do our best to ensure that we respond to the government scope, the government's desire to ensure that the citizens of this nation.
Still in Eastern Province, residents of Lumezi District, Chirande Ward, affected by human-wildlife conflict, say the Cash for Work program has provided relief amidst elephants destroying their crops. Government has so far spent 17,711,400 kwacha as payment to beneficiaries who have participated in the Cash for Work program implemented in Lumezi District of Eastern Province. One of the residents in Chieftainess Mwanya's chiefdom, Langslord Mbewe, says the Cash for Work program must continue because it is essential for their survival. Meanwhile, Lumezi District Commissioner Lufeo Ngoma acknowledged that the people in Lumezi would love Cash for Work to be made a permanent feature because it has provided temporary employment.
Boma ya chitambu ino maningi kuwikako Cash for Work. Bantu kuno sembe mwapeza kuno kuchiwani wafa na njala. So boma linaganiza bwino please wa presidenti mulungu abadalise na department yao yose bantu kuno sembe bafa na njala kuti Cash for Work. akasebenza bampasa uka 600 wagulako tuufa akasebenza watupasa uku namanje ipitirire usati balekere pamene ya panjala kuno ekaliko kwa mwanya ekali yande kaili nyama zasila vakudi.
And this has also some kind created a temporary employment to most youngsters at a district level, and the youth have come to appreciate across the district, and they're asking the president to make this cash for work program to stay and not to be a temporary measure to mitigate the hunger situation. And of course, talk about the hunger situation, we've had the situation in the valley where people had no food, as it is always the kind of life people are living there because of the game and the human-wildlife conflicts. But now with the introduction of cash for work, people are able to earn something every 10 days, every month. So this has come to mitigate the hunger situation, and they're able to afford at least a bag of meal, a bag of maize to every household. And we are continuing to monitor how it is flowing across the district.
In political news, the Operation Save MMD has called upon all members of the Movement for Multi-Party Democracy across the country to begin preparations for a national convention. MMD member Ellison Malambo says the convention aims to elect new leadership and reinvigorate the party in line with democratic principles of the MMD constitution and the expectations of its founding fathers. Mr. Malambo says Operation Save MMD will continue to advocate for transparency, unity, and constitutionalism within the party in preparation for a leadership transition. This follows statements made by MMD faction president Dr. Nevas Mumba. Dr. Nevas Mumba's confirmation that his second and final term began in 2021 and his final mandate will come to an end in 2026 March during a High Court. Mr. Frank Woa and Miss Edith Mataka, MMD National Chairperson for Women.
We welcome his admission that constitutionally the MMD, the president of the MMD can only reign for 2 5-year terms, and his final mandate will come to an end in March 26. In fact, in his own defense, affirmed that leadership in the MMD, while he claims to be lawfully elected, is also limited and not indefinite. We urge all members of the party across the country, including structures at branch, ward, constituents, district, and provincial levels, to begin preparation in earnest for a national convention. The purpose of this convention is to elect new leaders who will reinvigorate our party in line with the principles of the MMD Constitution. This admission provides clarity, and as time has come for action, and the party must look beyond personalities and focus on rebuilding itself. This can only happen when leadership transitions are respected and internal democracy is upheld. The membership of the party are also urged that the party must go for card renewals. According to Chapter 2, Article 5.4, which defines the membership, defines that failure to pay annual subscription fee, a member shall have his membership suspended. And in most cases, we have a leadership, including some in NEC, provincial, district constituents, ward, who are actually.
You are still on Camnet TV News Desk, broadcasting live on Topstar Channel 106, Facebook, YouTube, and Kenstream. We go on our final commercials. Join us after the break.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those that have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Enjoy the benefits of an instant loan with us ranging from 1,000 kwacha to 750,000 kwacha paid express once collateral is viewed, valued and verified. Call us on 0763 595 359 or 0779 432 993. Classified Financial Express, here as your financial friend.
Are you looking for a reliable and efficient courier company with international standards? Then let UBZ Courier, your trusted partner in swift and secure deliveries, be your ultimate choice. Whether it's a small package or a hefty consignment, UBZ Courier handles it all, locally and internationally. Our modern call center ensures personalized attention for every client. For seamless deliveries within Zambia and beyond, trust UBZ Courier. Call us now on +260 763 062 680 or visit us at plot number 15 Mwapona Road, Woodlands, Lusaka, Zambia. UBZ Courier, a world-class brand that can be trusted.
Thank you so much for still staying with us on the Camnet News Desk. We now look at international news. The Trump administration is weighing a proposal to significantly cut back the United States' global diplomatic presence, including the closure of nearly 30 embassies and consulates, more than half of which are located in Africa. The proposed measure is part of a broader initiative to reduce the State Department's budget by nearly 50%, with foreign aid facing a potential cut of approximately 75%. The plan, detailed in an internal State Department document, reflects the administration's goal of streamlining government operations and curbing federal expenditures. Among the African missions identified for closure are U.S. embassies in Lesotho, Eritrea, the Central African Republic, the Republic of Congo, the Gambia, and South Sudan. Additionally, the consulates in Durban, South Africa, and Douala, Cameroon, are slated to shut down, with their diplomatic functions possibly being reassigned to neighboring embassies. Here's a roundup of international news.
The 2022 US-Africa Summit was meant to usher in a reset in ties between Washington and the continent. The summit, convened by then President Joe Biden, was meant to repair the harm done by Trump 1.0. Just over 2 years in, those plans are being ripped apart. In a further sign that Africa barely features in Trump's foreign policy, Washington is preparing to close several embassies on the continent, according to reporting by the New York Times. The report says missions in Lesotho, Eritrea, the Central African Republic, the Republic of Congo, Gambia and South Sudan top the list of those facing closure. The news comes on the back of sudden aid cuts to health and other social programs, trade tariffs and visa bans imposed on over a dozen countries. Tanzania's main opposition party said it had failed to get access to its leader, who is in detention on treason charges. Chadema said Friday that the family and lawyers of Tundu Lissu had failed to see him at a Dar es Salaam jail, where he had been kept since his arrest on April 9. In a statement, the party said it held the Tanzanian government and prison service responsible for Lissu's safety. The prison service quickly denied that Lissu had been moved from jail. In a statement, the agency dismissed Chadema's concerns as misinformation. Lissu came second in Tanzania's 2020 presidential election. Last week, he was arrested and later charged with treason after a speech demanding election reforms. prosecutors said the speech called for an uprising. With another presidential vote in October, critics say President Samia Suluhu's government has ramped up repression against the opposition. This week, the Election Commission banned Chadema from taking part in October's election after the party refused to sign a document pledging to respect the Commission's orders. A significant step by South Africa's legal system in confronting the atrocities of the country's dark political past. A judge this week approved the trial of 2 apartheid-era police officers for their involvement in the 1982 assassination of 3 student activists. The prosecution is unprecedented. Until now, no individual has been held accountable for the crime of apartheid. The case centers around 3 young freedom fighters killed in an explosion in 1982. The victims were part of a resistance movement opposed to the apartheid regime, which enforced white-only rule and domination over the black majority. Experts say the trial could open the door for others. Also this week, South Africa reopened an investigation into the death of Albert Luthuli, a former president of the African National Congress who was killed in 1967. The prosecuting authority seeks to have the findings of previous inquests into Luthuli overturned. The authorities at the time had concluded that Luthuli's death was the result of an accident. The development comes more than 30 years since South Africa became a democracy and after a truth commission unearthed numerous atrocities.
And finally, in sports news this evening, the Zambia Under-17 women's national team has secured a hard 4-1 victory over Benin in a FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup qualifier. Messi Chipasula gave Zambia an early advantage in the 15th minute with a stunning long-range strike, setting the tone for the match. Her goal ensured that Zambia maintained the lead going into the halftime break. Benin came back strongly in the second half and managed to level the score, putting pressure on the Zambian side. However, Zambia responded with determination and restored their lead later in the half with a decisive goal. The win marks a crucial step forward for Zambia in their quest to qualify for the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup, showcasing the team's resilience and attacking prowess.
Women's World Cup to be held in Morocco. An in-swinging free kick coming in. Siazuno opts for a two-girl wall for Benin. Chipasula brings in the free kick, going for goal. Dispute by the goalkeeper yet again. Couldn't be completed. The attack couldn't be completed by Zambia. Messi Chipasula bring at the Gambia, going for goal and speed up by the goalkeeper. She finds the back of the net. Well, it's been coming. It has been coming from Zambia. And none more so than Messi Chipasula.
We can only say congratulations to the young Copper Princesses for that well-deserved victory. All the best as they continue with their matches headed into the World Cup. And that particular sports item brings us to the end of this edition of Main News on Camnet TV. But before we go, a recap of stories that made headlines. Gold deal gone wrong. Lusaka man vanishes with over $29,000. Police launch manhunt. CAAC warns new cyber law could silence whistleblowers, undermine corruption fight. Mining pollution and water crisis a danger to economic stability, says economist. And in international news, Trump administration considers major reduction in U.S. diplomatic missions. And in sports, Zambia beats Benin 2-1 in FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup qualifier. We now look at the Camnet verse for the day, coming from the book of John chapter 16 and verse 20. It reads, Verily, verily, I say unto you, that ye shall weep and lament, but the world shall rejoice, and ye shall be sorrowful, but your sorrow shall be turned into joy. That ends the reading, and that ends the main news on Camnet TV. But dear viewer, do remember that Camnet TV is live on Star Channel 106, also streaming live on Facebook and YouTube, and also on the Ken stream. And do be reminded that Camnet TV is not just another channel. Now, on behalf of the entire production team, I'm Tapelo Joe Smata. Good evening and God bless.